like a grain of sand in my big oyster mouth.
Your name ranges upon my screen just now.
Part 1, the introduction. Jim Honey. Before I begin, I would like to give summary to the entirety of my talk, so you may, whenever you choose, feel free to return to your hip-hop crap, without anyone being the wiser. Part 2. The summary proper. In an unexplainable act of self-circumcision, Unity cuts nothing out of everything and discovers the dense and the milky waters of transcendental numbers where its imaginary foreskin used to be. The pressure difference between the empty incision and the density of the ocean water forces the water deep up into the incision, where it finally explodes, becoming atomized into quark-sized bits and then re-exploding into what we would call a Big Bang event. This ongoing process produces an unimaginably large number of universes. As these nearly empty universes get packed together more and more tightly, the bleeding slows down along with the rate of universe formation. Everything which follows these waters into creation exists only here, and no other place. This is the place of place, between the zero and unity or one. Creation has one ingredient, and that ingredient is simply the re-exploded being of transcendental number. Our closest relative may be the sun, but number, it is the grandparent of all creation. In summary. Part 3. The talk itself. It is it, and there is no other it than it. And everything is not, its messenger. There is nothing it can add to itself, for everything is already present, and nothing may be moved from it, for there is no other place to put it. So when it came to act, by an act of creative self-circumcision, it cut nothing out of everything, and in that cut it found a dense and a milky ocean of transcendental number. Now as long as this imaginary field is held open, what you perceive as time will be in existence. The dense, gunky water of number is sucked up into the circumcised cut by the differences of their pressure. I quote myself when I say, and its surface welled up like angry blood from a startled wound, end quote. You see, Jim, the numerical gunk is first atomized and then turned inside out by the force of explosive decompression, literally blown all the way to its kingdom come. After the explosion, the scab-like structure begins to form as a series of densely packed universes which are, themselves, nearly entirely empty. The scab structure adjusts its size by the creation or the shedding of new and old universes so that the pressure difference is kept equalized. This scab structure is the location of all of death. Nothing outside of this scab dies. Every universe that will or did exist, existed here. This is the only place where energy may acquire mass. This is the only place subject to the illusion of time, that all of mass and energy are issues of primordial number, the analogical seed of all creation. You are correct, Jim, when you claim to be stardust, but it is more correct to claim to be numbered dust. In fact, you humans do not exactly qualify as life. Technically you are a member of the numerical afterlife. And you are located in the land of the dead. I understand that your species is in a state of deep denial concerning this matter. But sooner or later you will have to come to grips with the fact that you and all your pets and insects, everything excepting the trees and flowers and plants, are all ghosts. Let me quote myself here, quote, "We are but ghosts. And like all ghosts, we exist, or do not exist, in a powerful state of denial. We are made up almost entirely of empty space, as ghosts are. We are quick to suffer from loneliness and cold, and hunger, as ghosts do. Yet we will not put two and two together, and see what we are. Ghosts do not remember exactly how they actually got to where they are, and are not. And so we too did wonder when we were young, how we came to be ourselves, and not some other person. We have this feeling because we once shared in everything, but now we share in nothing. It is right to say that. Every person being born has participated in the miracle of birth, but they are also participants in the tragedy of a greater dying. We believe our sun is hot, but it is only like a light in the back of a freezer. And we think black holes are scary, dense and hungry, but they are less than lint to the living. And 1,000 of our worlds are like a tiny crumb upon the sheets of our Titan forefathers. For the dead, they are many, and everywhere they are scattered. But all of life is addressed in being. Try to remember that the dead are turned inside out, and so must first understand everything always as backwards. Do you see, James, how luck is nothing more than a well-tended grave? For how could good fortune originate in this world, when it is produced in the world before us? Exported over here, to the far side of emptiness, to those who have ended up on the wrong side of the sticks. End of the talk itself. Next talk we will talk about the interactions between the dense packing of the mostly empty universes and the ocean which funds them, and look at them as an ecological system. We will talk about the politics of the primes and the rise and fall of the irrational numbers which preceded them.